What's going on, guys? Boss6 here, back to another video, and today I'm here to give you my NFL Week 15 predictions. Take two, because I was just about done doing my first video, and then I got distracted. And the video just stopped after I paused it. Fun! That's a lot of fun. So yeah, if it seems like I'm zooming by some of these games, because I basically talked about these games in length, and yeah, I'm frustrated at the fact that it didn't stop recording. Must be nice. Must be very, very, very nice. But without further ado, let's get into the games. I was literally just about finishing wrapping up, too, because I was just about to talk the Monday night games. But unfortunately, life likes to get in my way. So, kick off with the Thursday night football game. We have the Los Angeles Rams versus San Francisco 49ers and the NFC West showdown. Both these teams come off with big wins this past Sunday, with the Rams coming off with arguably game of the year against the Buffalo Bills, and where they looked like the greatest show on turf. Seriously, that Bills defense could not do anything against Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, Kyler Williams, and Puka Nacua. And it was just an offensive showcase through and through. And while the Rams isn't really that great of a team, they are, when healthy, a really, really, really good football team. And that's what they were this past Sunday. They were just overall the better team, even though the Bills' defense did let Josh Allen down. Meanwhile, the 49ers makes me never want to root for the Bears ever again, and never want me to pick them in the predictions, because my God, that was an ass blasting that the 49ers gave to the Bears, where it was just offensive domination through and through. And when the Niners are healthy, they are looking like a Super Bowl contender, but unfortunately that's not really been the case this season, with CMC being out, Jordan Mason's been injured, Brandon Ayuk has been hurt. You know, there's been so many things that have been going wrong for this team, and it's literally like 2020 all over again, which is not really a good thing if you're a Niners fan. So this is honestly a crucial game for both teams, because the Rams are trying to not only get into the playoffs, but possibly take the division. And the Niners, they might be they may be following suit, but may come up shorthanded. So, based off of the fact that, you know, this could be a very, very, very close game, I'm actually willing to give the edge to the Rams with this one. I think they might be able to pull off a little bit of an upset here, because they were the better team, in my opinion, in terms of all-around offense. But that Niners defense was doing really damn good against that Bears offense. So there's that for you. But I'm going to go with the Rams, and I hope I'm right, because I'm probably not going to be. Following that, we got the Miami Dolphins versus the Houston Texans. The Dolphins coming off with an overtime win over the New Jersey Jets. Well, they're trying to make a playoff run, even though it doesn't look like they might make it. The Dolphins at this point, they just need to worry about health, essentially. And that's literally all that really needs to be done. They just need to worry about being healthy, and if they do, they are a really good team, especially with Tua under center. Tua has been making that offense a lot more, you know, full of life, if you will. Meanwhile, the Texans, they just came off of a bye week, and they aren't looking all that great right now. C.J. Stroud's taking a step back in terms of quality. The offense isn't that great. Azeez Al-Shir likes to take people's heads off, just like a Trevor Lawrence. And it's not looking all that good for them right now. So that O-line is pretty bad. I don't know what the hell happened to it. Their defense is all right, but it's mainly just their offense that's really been lacking in some ways. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on with both these teams, in all honesty. Mainly the Dolphins just worry about health, and the Texans, their O-line's pretty bad. So this is going to be a pretty unique game, and kind of crucial for both teams, because while the Texans do have the NFC or the AFC South, it's not really all that convincing, because you also have the Colts coming up on them, and the Dolphins are trying to make a playoff run. So based off of what I've seen, I'm actually going to go with Miami with this one. I do think that the Dolphins are going to have themselves a pretty fun game. Although I wouldn't be shocked if the Texans won, because, again, they just came off of a bye week and they're a lot more healthy. So I could see that happening, but I do think that the Dolphins are going to be able to pull off a victory here. And the Fins hopefully win. I'm running out of things to say. Following that, oh God, we've got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Carolina Panthers. A Jonathan Mingo revenge game, possibly? Probably not. Anyways, the Cowboys, they just came off of a loss against the Cincinnati Bengals last night. Yeah, it's not looking good for Dallas. And quite honestly, we don't really feel bad for them because it's Dallas. We don't want to feel bad for them because good old Jerry Jones say we're going all in, or he's saying he's going all in. And if he's going all in, he's going all into the draft because that's essentially what they are. They are 5-8. They're basically coming out of the playoff race here with a couple losses. And it's not looking good for Dallas whatsoever. Meanwhile, the Panthers, woo man, that was a close game they had with the Philadelphia Eagles. And literally, if Xavier Legette did not drop that ball, they would have probably won that game because, oh man, you don't make drops like that at crucial points in the game. And, you know, Bryce Young played serviceable. He played pretty decent for a caliber like him. And while that's not like a big accomplishment at all, it is by all means an upgrade over last year because while he did throw a bad pick, he did make it up for a couple touchdowns. So that's all you can really say for Bryce. There's some hope and there's some optimism, at least in Carolina, because of how bad their organization is. Even though Dallas does have the talent-ish, unfortunately, DeMarvion Overshown is out with a knee injury, I believe, because, yeah, that's fun. That's always well and fun. So, yeah, based off of that, fuck it. I might be insane because I kind of am. I'm actually going to go with the Panthers with this one. I think Carolina's going to pull a victory out of their ass on this one, and everyone's going to laugh at Dallas because it's Dallas. So I'm going to go with Carolina with the upset here, even though it's not really an upset if you think about it. And, yeah, not much more needs to really be said. Following that, we got the New Jersey Jets versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jets are coming fresh off of an overtime loss to the Miami Dolphins. And for the first time in over 1,000 days, Aaron Rodgers finally threw for 300 yards. And he still lost. Yeah, I don't see Rodgers coming back to the Jets. I think actually after this season, he might be done as a QB because he's kind of tainted his legacy a little bit in terms of, you know, the on-field stuff because off-field he's kind of weird. And by kind of, yeah, I mean he actually is weird. So there's that for Rodgers. But yeah, this experience he had with the Jets has not been good at all. It's just been pretty it's been pretty disappointing to say the least. And quite honestly, if I'm a Jets fan, I'm just hanging my head in shame because yeah, it's kind of sad because this is probably the most wasted potential that the Jets have had, I'd say, in their entire franchise. So, yeah, it's just been absolute turmoil for the Jets right now. Meanwhile, the Jags, I mean, you got to win, but at what cost at this point? Yeah, you took on the Titans, but that's really saying that, I don't know, that Northern Illinois took on a freaking high school football team. That's literally the equivalent of that. So, yeah, I mean, you got to win, but you probably lost Travis Hunter in the draft, so there's that for you. But, yeah, this game is probably going to be pretty ugly, but based off of the talent alone, I do see the Jets winning, even though I did say I will never pick the Jets again. I was kind of overreacting because of how bad the Jets are, but they are by all means the better team than the Jags because the Jags just have nothing going for them. So, Duval, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go with the Jets with this one. Following that, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Tennessee Titans. The Bengals coming fresh off of a win over the Dallas Cowboys, keeping their playoff hopes alive, at least for right now. Joe Burrow had himself a relatively solid game, as he typically does. Jamar Chase looks like he might be on the road to the Triple Crown on the outside of things because he is leading the first in everything in the league right now in terms of, I think, completions, receptions, I think yards per game, I believe, too. Yeah, they were firing on all cylinders, even though their defense is not that good. Meanwhile, they're taking on the Titans, who I just talked about with the Jags. They just came off of a loss, and yeah, the Titans are fucking terrible. They lost the Tank Bowl, essentially, and yeah, it's not all that good for the Tits right now because the Titans are just not good. They are not good at all, and I'm not sure why they're not good. I don't know what the hell happened, but yeah, the Titans are they're in shambles at this point, and not much more really needs to be said. So I'm going to go with the Bengals with this one because, yeah, it's the Titans. I don't think they should really be struggling against them, even though the Bengals defense is bad. But I do think that the offense is really going to carry the load, which they have been the entire time of this season. So I'm going with Cincy with this one, and hopefully they can keep their playoff hopes alive. Following that, oh dear Lord, we got the Baltimore Ravens versus the New Jersey Giants. The Ravens, well, they're coming off of a bye week, but they got outpowered by another NFC East team in the Philadelphia Eagles the week prior. And honestly, I don't know what's going on with the Ravens this season. They should really be 10-3 and not 8-5 in my opinion, but that's the Ravens for you. They look like a Super Bowl contender one year, and then the next they look like a mid-tier wildcard team. I don't understand it at all. Meanwhile, the Giants, this is such a Jekyll and Hyde franchise that I don't understand because, yeah, this team is terrible. This is honestly one of the worst seasons the Giants have had in a long, long, long time, in my opinion. They're just horrible. They're just a horrible, horrible, horrible team this season. You have it to the point where people are having flyers in the sky saying that Mr. Mara, please fix this dumpster fire. And hell, they couldn't even beat the Saints despite the fact one of the Giants players allegedly, even though it looks like it may be true, had an OnlyFans model flash herself to distract the Saints, and the Giants still lost. And also you have Drew Lock under center because Tommy DeVito was hurt. Yep, Drew Lock, tank commander. That's all I'm really going to say. So, yeah, the Ravens should be able to pull off an easy victory here. I don't see a reason they should not be able to get a victory here. But, yeah, Giants are terrible. I'm going with the Ravens with this one because they have Derrick Henry. And, I mean, well, yeah, they have, the Giants have Neighbors and Tracy. But is that really going to stop really the Ravens at all? Most likely not. Following that, we've got a very interesting game. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cleveland Browns. So the Chiefs, their Black Voodoo magic prevails yet again over the Los Angeles Chargers, where that was a very ugly and boring Sunday Night Football game. And in the end, they won with not just a regular field goal, a doink to get into the field goal. So, yeah, I don't get them, dude. I don't really get them at all. They're a team that's just non-threatening. Like, they're just not a convincing team at all. And, yeah, I apologize for the background noise. I don't know what the hell my dogs are barking at, but, yeah, oh, Jesus Christ. My dogs were barking at an old lady. Oh, dear God. Oh, my God, they're still barking. What the fuck? Anyways, I'm sorry I got sidetracked there. But yeah, the Chiefs are probably the most unconvincing 12-1 team I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, they're less convincing than the 2020 Steelers. And that's saying a lot, in all honesty. So, yeah, and considering that the Browns, ironically, just lost to the Steelers last week, I feel like Cleveland has nothing to play for, essentially, so they'll probably make this a competitive game, but then again, a lot of the Chiefs games have been competitive this season for unknown reasons. So, I'm actually going to go with the Chiefs with this one, even though I wanted to go with the Browns, because, I mean, if Winston cannot fuck up the ball so many times, then I would probably laugh that the Chiefs will lose, but I do think that the Chiefs are going to probably bullshit their way to a victory here, but who knows? You can never count on Cleveland, especially with apple turnover over there. So, yeah, I'll go with the Chiefs, but I secretly want to kind of go with the Browns just for the laughs. Following that, we've got the Washington Commanders versus the New Orleans Saints. The Commies, well, they're coming off of a bye week, fresh off of a bye week, and it's honestly for the best considering that, yes.
I'm leaving. You want the dogs in here?
I mean, you can put them in here.
Come on, girls.
Alright, the dogs are coming in. The dogs are coming in.
Sure, Mark. barking at people.
Yeah, I heard. They were distracting me.
Okay, bye, baby. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, bye. Love ya. That was my mom, by the way. Don't you even think about growling at each other. Don't think about it. Oh my god, now I got the dog's attention. I am apologizing for the a lot of interruptions here, folks. I'm trying to do predictions! And you two are acting like Nancy's.
Hey, don't forget,
Anyways.
don't lock that bottom lock.
I'm not. Anyways, the Saints are, the Commies, yeah, they're coming off of a bye week, which, I mean, good for them because, honestly, they don't want an RG3 situation with Jaden Daniels, and they more deserve the bye week because I think Daniels is still kind of battling a rib injury, so that little bit of that extra week of rest is really going to help the Commies in the outside of things. Meanwhile, they're taking on the Saints, who just came off of a win over the New Jersey Giants, literally the equivalent of a college team winning over a high school football team. It's like, okay, cool, you beat the Giants. Do you want a cookie? Let's see. Derek Carr is hurt. Shocker. He got a concussion and he suffered a broken hand, so that's fun. They got Ben DiNucci now. That's always fun. Cowboys and Broncos legend Ben DiNucci. Yeah, this game is probably going to be a very, 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 very ugly game. So, by default, I am actually going to go with the Commanders with this one. I just think they're just a better team in every facet of play. The Saints might make a bit of a competitive game, but considering they got Jake Haener, Spencer Rattler, and now Ben DiNucci, yeah, their QB scenario is not looking all that good right now. So, I'm actually going to go with the Commies with this one. Following that, we've got a very interesting game here. We've got the good old battle for Pennsylvania. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The Steelers coming off of a win over the Cleveland Browns, yet again proving that they are the superior AFC North team this season. They have 10 wins now, which is the first time they've had 10 wins, and it feels like a dog's age essentially. And yeah, they're one of the better teams in the AFC, which is very, very, very odd to say in some ways. Meanwhile, they're taking on the Eagles, who just barely scraped by the Carolina Panthers. And man, that O-line and offense did not look all that good. Honestly, Jalen Hurts felt like he was on cruise control. I mean, the whole team felt like they were on cruise control, essentially. And like I said, if Xavier Legette did not drop that pass in the end zone, then I felt like the game would have been differently. But Saquon was there to make history by becoming surpassing, I believe, whose record was it? I think was it Brian Westbrook's? No, it was Shady McCoy's record as having the most rushing yards as a Philadelphia Eagle in one season. In his debut season, no less. So, yeah, there's that. And not to mention, it looks like Saquon might be breaking 2,000 yards this season. He's on the route to it. So, yeah, this could be a very interesting game here because originally I wanted to go with Philly because it is a home field advantage. But based how they played, I wasn't really convinced by them. So, I'm shockingly going to go with Pittsburgh. Not because I think the bullshit is real. I do think that defense is going to be able to stop the run game. Because I feel like TJ Watt might be able to have a good game. But then again, they might be able to stop TJ Watt, which really rarely comes. Giggity. Awkward pause there. Really, rarely happens. So, I have a feeling that the Eagles' offense might struggle a little bit. But I am gonna go with Pittsburgh on this one, even though the Pittsburgh's offense has been kind of non-existent this entire season. I am gonna go with the Steelers though because Steelers got Super Bowl in the end. Following that, we've got the Indianapolis Colts versus the Denver Broncos. Will you quit licking the bed, please? So yeah, the Colts, both these teams are actually coming off of a bye week essentially, where it mainly depends on how Anthony Richardson's going to play and mainly how Bo Nix is going to play because, yeah, both teams coming off of a bye week. And Both are really trying to get into the playoffs. The Broncos have the number 6 seed, I believe, which is, I guess, cool for them because it's the first time since 2015 they're going to be in the playoffs if they do make it this season. And the Colts right now, they're trying to get into the playoffs, but I think they're going to come up just a couple games short, in my opinion, because I feel like Indy is missing something. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I feel like they're missing something because their rushing defense isn't that great, and their offense is a little anemic, and Anthony Richardson, of course. Their defense is kind of meh for the most part, and I don't know, I just feel like they are missing something, and I don't know what that something really is. And the main kind of fault I have with Denver is that their offense really isn't nothing really that really stands out. Like, little Jordan Humphrey is all right. You know, of course, you got Cortland Sutton, of course, but it feels like they're kind of missing something on offense. And not to mention Riley Moss, I think, is out with a knee injury, so that's going to hurt them in the outside of things. But that defense is still really damn good throughout, so this could be a bit of a defensive showcase here, but I do think Denver's going to be able to get the victory here. It mainly depends if Bo Nix is going to be Bo Picks or not, but I don't think that'll be the case, so I'm actually going to go with the Broncos for this one. And then we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Bucs coming off of a win over the Las Vegas Raiders in a game where, it's... I don't get the Bucs sometimes because, I mean, yeah, you beat the Raiders, but I don't know. It didn't really come off as, you know, I wouldn't say convincing. It's just, the Bucs are just a weird team. Like, I get it, they're injured, but sometimes they lost games where they should have won and won games they should have lost. But Baker really didn't play that great of a game, but he did enough to get the win. And it was mainly just Mike Evans' show. That was literally about it. And Bucky Irving as well, to a lesser extent. And not to mention, too, they have the NFC South because the Falcons are fucking terrible. So there's also that. Meanwhile, the Chargers, they put up a gritty fight over the Kansas City Chiefs. That defense was getting to Mahomes a lot that game, but they just could not prevail over the Chiefs' bullshit. Not to mention Justin Herbert's getting banged up. They don't have Vlad McConkey, unfortunately. And also, I think Disley was out with an injury, so... yeah, the Chargers are getting banged up every single week, but I do think they have the number 7 seed overall, so I guess good for them because they need a playoff win, dude, because it's the Chargers, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen anytime soon. So this could be a bit of an ugly game, but I do think in terms of who I think was the better team overall, I'm actually going to go with the Charger with this one because I do think that the Bucs O-line is still hurt and they're still damaged. So I do think that the Chargers are going to get a victory here. If Tampa Bay wins, I really wouldn't complain either because it's kind of a must-win scenario for them in order to control the NFC South. But I do think that the Chargers are going to win this game. And, let's hope the Bolts get the victory here. And then we get the game that I have been waiting, and a lot of people have been waiting for. We've got the Buffalo Bills versus the Detroit Lions. A possible Super Bowl preview because I predicted that both these teams might go into the dance this upcoming February. The Bills, a heartbreaker against the Los Angeles Rams. Josh Allen had probably the best game of his entire career. 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and basically broke the fantasy point differential where he got minus 400. He broke something in fantasy. It was like fantasy points or something like that. That has not happened in forever. I think he broke Michael Vick's record. I think it was something like that, but I can't fully remember. But in the end, they still lost because their defense failed them. That's literally all I got to say there. Meanwhile, Detroit, yeah, that was a gutsy win over the Green Bay Packers, solidifying not only winning the AFC North, or the NFC North, but also clinching the number 1 seed, at least for right now, because Philly's really on their tail right now. When Detroit, they're just getting banged up every single week, but thankfully for them, their defense is going to be coming back. They're going to get Josh Pascal back. I think they're getting Malafawu back. I think they're going to get Zadarius Smith. But also, Brian Branch might be questionable because he was having cramps in that game. And That's the last thing Detroit needs. More fucking injuries. Because Jesus Christ, dude, look at their whole goddamn defense. It is nothing but a walking hospital at this point. It's unbelievable. Because you got Hutch out. Rodriguez is out. You know, everyone is struggling on defense because they're all hurt right now. So, yeah, it's not looking good for Detroit right now. It mainly comes down to who's going to make the more mistakes. That's literally it. And I have a feeling Allen might struggle against that Lions defense and that Lions D-line, because that Lions D-line's really damn good because, yeah, you know, Penei Sewell, and also you have the aforementioned Za'Darius Smith. So I do like the Bills' chances here, but based off of what I've seen and who was the more impressive team, I do think Detroit's going to get a victory here. I wouldn't be mad if Buffalo lost personally, but, dude, this game is going to be so fucking good. At least I hope, because last time we said about the Ravens and the Eagles, I was kind of underwhelmed by it, but yeah, I hope this is a really good game, and maybe we might see these guys again in February, but I'm going to go with the Lions with this one. Well, let's see what Josh Allen can do against that defense. Following that, we have another game of the year. We've got the New England Patriots versus the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, that was a lot of sarcasm there. The Patriots are coming fresh off of a bye week as well. A lot of teams are on the bye week this week. And, yeah, they just released KJ Osborne, who I completely forgot was even on the team, and it's literally Drake May. Hey! Knock it off, both of you. I'm trying to record a video, damn it. I'm trying to make my predictions, and you two are acting like fucking Nancy's. Don't snip. And she just sneezed on me. You farted on me earlier, and I was so mad. Ugh, God. Note to self, don't get dogs. Or do, if you want to annoy them when they're trying to make a YouTube video. No. Anyways. God, both of you stink. Anyways, yeah, New England, they don't have anything going for them. And the Cardinals are not that good of a team. Like, they're so disorganized, it's not even funny. Like, they came off of a loss to the Seahawks where they had the lead, or at least they had the division lead, and now it's Seattle's. I just don't get the Cardinals, dude. I don't get the Cardinals. I don't want to get them at this point. So, much to the chagrin of myself and against my better judgment, I still think the Cardinals are a better team because they at least have an offense, which you can't really say about New England. So I am actually going to go with the Cardinals with this one because New England is just nothing really to write home about this season. Drake May's good, but that's literally it. Maybe Ramondre Stevenson, but other than that, I'm going to go with the Cardinals with this one to get a W. And then we've got the Sunday Night Football game between the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. Back in the days of 2014, it would have been Aaron Rodgers versus Russell Wilson. But not in 2024. We've got Jordan Love and Geno Smith. That's all you got to really say. The Packers came off of a very heartbreaking loss to the Detroit Lions. That was close. It was really, really, really close. Jordan Love really didn't do a whole lot in that game. It was mainly just Christian Watson and Josh Jacobs the entire time. And that's literally it. Meanwhile, Seattle, I mean, yeah, you came over to win over the Cardinals, but that's literally nothing to write home about. So, yeah, it's very interesting how both these teams are actually going to play, considering that, you know, both defenses have actually been kind of solid throughout. I'm very curious how both offenses are going to do because I think Kenneth Walker is still out with an injury, and sometimes Geno Smith kind of turns into Jets version Geno Smith for some weird reason. So, yeah, I'm very curious to see how this game is going to go. But based off of who I thought was more impressive, even though that they did lose, I'm actually going to go with the Packers for this one, despite the fact it is in Seattle. I'm going to go with the Packers for this one. This should be a very fun game. But ultimately, I think Green Bay is going to get the victory here. And then we get one of two Monday Night Football games, because we're doing this again, apparently. We've got an NFC North battle between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. The Bears. Yeah, remind me to never pick the Bears again, because that was fucking egregious. You had 4 yards in the first half? half, 4 offensive yards. What? What? Huh? My dogs are going psychotic right now, and I don't know why, because they're playing with each other. But anyways, yeah, Chicago, I don't know what to really think of them other than the fact they're complete dog shit. Meanwhile, the Vikings, I mean, you beat the brakes off the Falcons, but that was more so Atlanta really imploding on themselves, because for the first time since Dante Culpepper in 2004, Vikings quarterback threw for 5 touchdowns, and it was Sam Darnold. That's a very funny stat to think about in the outside of things. Yeah, the Vikings, yeah, they're 12-2, but I'm not so sure about them. Or wait, no, are they 11-2? I think they're 11-2 actually. I don't know, something is a little odd about them. I'm not 100% sure, because you have games like these that you're a little less trustworthy of them. But while I do think that the Bears' defense was complete dog shit, I'm not 100% trustworthy of the Vikings' defense either. But based off of who was the better team, I'm going to go with Minnesota with this one. But watch the Bears win just in spite of themselves. But I think the Vikings are going to be able to get a victory here, because the Bears are just a fucking terrible team this year. So, yeah. That Hail Mary really did broke the Bears this season, though. It really, really, really did. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota, and that's all I'm going to say. And then for the, oh God, why is this a Monday Night Football game? We've got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Vegas Raiders. Oh boy, the Desmond Ridder revenge game. Oh, sweet fucking Lord. So the Falcons literally just shot themselves in the dick 15 times over, because Kirk Cousins is not really all that good at football right now. What the fuck are you doing, Kirk? Like, seriously, what are you doing? 0 touchdowns and 8 picks in a span of 3 games? What are you doing, dude? Like, seriously, what are you doing? It is absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention D. Alford had one of the funniest flops I've ever seen. And, I don't get Atlanta. They had the division, and they just slipped it right through their fingers. Meanwhile, the Raiders, you lost AOC, and now you have Desmond Ridder. You are fucked. Tank Commander Desmond Ridder, that is. Good God, how the fuck did the Raiders get even worse? I didn't think they were going to get worse, and they somehow did, because you have a guy that literally doesn't know how to throw a football sometimes. Oh, God. I don't even know who to even pick, because this game's going to be fucking terrible. This is going to be a bad game. I guess, based off of talent, I'm going to go with the Falcons, but yeah, this is not going to be, this is not going to be a good game at all. So I'm going to go with the Falcons, but against my better judgment. So, folks, hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, tap the bigger subscribe button, and tap the bell so when I upload, you guys will be notified. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Most importantly, join the herd. Talk to you guys next video. Peace out.